Welcome to the Initiative Reviews, and today we're covering Netflix's Castlevania. I'm your host, Darren Bradley, along with.
Paulina Guerriere, thanks for tuning in.
And today we're going to be covering Netflix Castlevania as we lead up to season 2, which we're going to try to do a super special event this week. As the initiative is going to be all over Twitter, live tweeting, catching up, following from Castlevania 1 to Castlevania 2, which comes out October 26th. So follow us on Twitter at Afro underscore AI to join along in the conversation and, of course, join the initiative. So, where do you want to start today, P?
Okay, well, we can start with the gaming lore, like what is Castlevania? Where did it come from? How did it start? Which gaming company? All of that, Kind of know the history. I'm a bit of a history buff, but I don't know all that much about Castlevania, surprisingly. So, you seem to know more about
I,
it.
I know a little bit of the lore, not much about the game specifics, because I really big Castlevania fan growing up, even though like I had every system that they were on.
Mm.
But I enjoyed the maze like style of Castlevania. I don't know what to say. Castlevania is a classic game. It was on literally I think on every system up until after the 360. Then people just stopped buying Castlevania stuff. So when the series dropped and kind of re-sparked up the popularity, it was a really cool thing. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this anime adaptation is based on Castlevania 3, the story of Trevor Belmont and Alucard, the son of Dracula. And it's really cool. It has a lot of good Easter eggs, and the art style is amazing, and it really does follow some of the gothic imagery that we would get from like the 8-bit pixels from back in the day, and just brings it up into a whole new world of beautiful artisticness.
Plus, the show is like really, really graphic, which I appreciate. It's not for. It's
Mhm.
like if you have a weak stomach, please do not watch it. If you wanna if you wanna throw up, please do watch it. Um, I appreciate the animation. Like the style is pretty much essentially like if anybody's seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's literally similar, like if not spot on, minus the silliness because it is not
Oh no, it's a
bizarre.
horror.
It's
It's
pure
horror.
horror. Like yeah, it's not. I don't know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. But it's not that. It's so I'm really more interested in like just the actions of the characters, not just the main characters, but a lot of side characters, a lot of background characters. I really appreciate the humor. You have Trevor Belmont, who's our quote unquote reluctant hero from a noble house that, previously, slayed monsters until the church was like, you are going to have to follow our rules or be banished. So they were banished. And, of course, turned around and, Dracula's wrath was,
Incurred his wrath.
yep. And of course, the church was like, oh, it's the Belmont's fault. It's all these noble families who, refuse to, follow the ways of the church, this, that, and the other. And it's like 100% the church's fault for Dracula's wrath. But,
But even though, like, if you go back in history, the church employed them. Like, it's that weird thing. It's the shift of power. When the church needed them, they used them, and then when they didn't need them no more, it's like, oh well, time to go.
Right. And then when, shit hits the fan, oh well, it's these noble families, they didn't wanna help, and it's like y'all push them away. What are you talking about? You know? And it's the one character, the bishop. Whew, okay. It's literally like it's just nothing has I don't want to say nothing has changed, but it's you see the parallels between the church then and now. Not much has changed, even with the pope. Even with how quote unquote cool he seems to be, there's still some things he says and believes in. You're just looking at him like, you sure God wants that? You know what I mean?
And it's also what kicks off some of the major plot lines is the church's denial of science,
Mm.
which brings me to like one of my favorite portrayals of Dracula,
Hmm.
which is also ended off in the video games. Dracula, though he is a spiritual being and maybe the classic bloodsucker Dracula, but he's a man of science.
Yep.
The reason that he is the way he is because he's a man of science,
Hmm.
and the way they portray him in this series, and like I said, also from the game, he's just a dude that hates humanity because they dumb. He's just dumb, and they believe and they don't want to move past superstitions.
Right.
And this woman, a very courageous woman who wants to learn, ventures into Dracula's castle, and he's like, "You intrigue me. Your enthusiasm for knowledge. I'm gonna let you live. I'm not gonna destroy you.
Right, and it's
I'm not,
and it's so funny.
And the church,
It's so
and
funny.
right, and the church seeing her scientific achievements burn her at the stake. Dracula gets pissed, like, did y'all just hurt my wife? Oh, y'all messed up now. So Dracula was almost peaceful. He didn't want to be bothered by humanity. I love the portrayal in Castlevania. This dude.
No, it's really cool. Like I just I just love that his wife, Lisa was her name, ventures into his castle and he's like trying to be all intimidating and she's like, "Okay, first of all, you're kind of rude. You didn't even offer me
Yes.
anything. You didn't I'm your guest here." And he's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Like, "What is this?" And then he's like accusing her of like, "Oh, you're probably superstitious because garlic, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Oh shit, the food I ate. I am so sorry. It was the last thing I had. Please excuse me."
And it chuckles him.
Right.
It chuckles him. And you have a dragon go, okay, I see you.
It's like, okay. Then he shows her, his lab. And she's like, "Oh my gosh." Me, honestly, I'd be freaking out too. I, I'm not. I love science. I love that that there should be a balance of knowledge and maybe a little bit of fear of the unknown. Granted, it's still important to engage in science. So I really appreciated that. One, it was a woman who was like, "No, no, no. We need to get to the bottom of why people are getting sick, so I can heal them better."
Yes.
And the thing is, the people rejected that, especially the church. And the thing I could immediately notice that I've always noticed in general about humanity and the church is that the church preys upon those who are ignorant and cannot read. It is easier to control them because they use fear mongering to put these people in line, and those who follow science don't fall for it as easily, thus are accused of
Yes.
witchcraft and being what is it? Not wizards. What is the other? Warlocks. There we go. And monsters and like what is this evil blasphemy? This is the work of Satan and the devil. And it's like this is literally stuff that can help improve our society. What are you talking about? We're literally sitting in poop. We need to move away from that. And the church
And
doesn't
they
want
and
that.
they and they really do show it off in literally the first
Hmm.
episode. And it's weird because the bishop has a whole other speech about this stuff comes from the devil and demons, and technically it does because it does come from Dracula. But
Technically.
Dracula, like, I don't care.
Hmm.
I'm not. I don't care about y'all. I don't. It's such an irony. It was a very and it was very well done.
Hmm.
It sets off again like the themes from the rest of the show.
It does. And then of course, you have Trevor Belmont of the Belmont family, one of the great noble families that fight vampires and other monsters. They've been trained to do it for generations. And then you had this whole thing with the church and the family, and then you have Trevor, who's just a wanderer at this point in the
Hey,
story.
don't look. Everything's gone. The money's
Hmm.
gone. The castles.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yep.
gone. Even um, he even says it like just the fact that the way the system is set up, and when the bishop encouraged the wrath of Dracula, and and he's like, well, that's because y'all forgot. We taught y'all all this stuff. We showed, we had this stuff written down, but the church wanted to go and destroy everything, and now you screwed. Y'all know how to stop it.
Yeah. So and the way he's introduced is he's just sitting in a tavern trying to get drunk. Is drunk. You overhear farmers talk very crudely, talking about whatever it is that they go through on a daily basis. Then they start, one, I think it was another farmer who comes bursting in saying like, what are those creatures? I even I even forgot that Dracula released upon the world to destroy
I just call
every. I
them
forgot what they're called.
They just call them demons.
Yeah.
They don't give them specific names at the beginning. They don't give them.
There was
Okay,
like
they don't give them their video game names at first. They're
true.
just demons. They're like, oh crap, we're
Yeah,
screwed.
that's no, you're right. That's true. But there was like I think there was like a specific thing. I just that's my bad. But there was like a they were released into the world after Dracula gave pretty much the country 1 year to atone, to come to terms with, oh, they're gonna be screwed. You know, 1 year, because humanity fucked up thanks to the church, thanks to their ignorance, and they're like, oh, whatever. Especially the bishop. He's like, no, it's just all talk. Then you had 1 year later celebrating the day of Lisa's death. And they're like, oh, it's been a year,
Yeah.
nothing happened. See, it's lies of the devil. The devil never goes through the empty threats, and then the sky turns red and it rains blood. And all hell breaks loose.
And they gave beautiful imagery.
Oh, very
The
gory.
church is actually drawn really freaking gorgeous.
Yes.
Before everybody got
Yep.
slaughtered, and it moves at a fast pace. This show is only 4 episodes, but so much is covered.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're just now in episode 2. Basically, no, we're at the end of episode 1 when Dracula comes back to exact his revenge after he made the promise. Like, yo, I told y'all I was coming. Y'all should listen.
Yep. And I think we're also introduced to his son, Alucard, I believe. Yeah.
We kind of see him in a foreshadowing.
Yeah, but like
at the
trying to
beginning.
not even foreshadowing. It's just literally like, Dad, stop! Don't do this. This is not what Mom wanted.
Yeah, but we don't see him in that moment.
It was like a shadow.
It's just a figure. Yes.
But then later we find out exactly who he is, what he looks like. But even then, like,
because we can move past Trevor going through the countryside and halfway being a hero, every once in a while helping people, but then like, I hate this, I hate y'all. Look, he's that's just jaded Dracula about human beings. Like, y'all just dumb, y'all deserve to be punished. But then he's like, nah, this is not cool. Because he meets a bunch of travelers. They're being persecuted by human beings because the human beings want to blame the travelers instead of being like, no, this is the church's fault. They didn't have anything to do with this. This is your fault. Just because they understand the old knowledge didn't mean that they brought this about. The church who threw away the old knowledge brought this about. So he feels sympathy for them and tried to help them out, which we get into a lot of more video game stuff, because in the video games, you gotta walk through towns, talk to NPCs, then go into dungeons, fight monsters, leave the dungeons, talk to more NPCs, then go back down. There's a whole episode of that which was well done. It didn't make it feel tedious. It was just like, oh yeah, I remember having to do this in this stupid game.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Right, so when you get from that point on, but when everybody starts to realize that there's something in the town that he visits that could help them, and it's just little clues that show that it's Alucard, Dracula's son, because again, there's technology in this world, but all technology stems from Dracula.
It does. And it's so interesting too how it builds up to it. It's really, really cool how they build up to it. Yeah. It's like from one thing, you have a speaker, like the elder's granddaughter. She goes off to find this. It was like a savior or something like that, a soldier. Yeah, it's like a sleeping soldier or something like that. And she goes off to find him. She never comes back. The speakers try to go and find her. They can't. Trevor's like, again, the reluctant hero. I love him. He's such a little shit. The reluctant hero. He's like, fine, I'll go get her on the condition that you guys leave at sundown or before sundown, before the next wave.
People don't want to hurt him.
And before the next wave of demons come and just pretty much destroy the city, which is already pretty much destroyed. And because of the church refusal,
not even that, I believe it was before the people slaughtered the group before the demons.
Oh yeah,
came.
yeah.
It was like, yo.
Well, no, it changed because first off, he was like, I'll retrieve your granddaughter on the condition you guys leave before sundown. He goes to retrieve her.
Yeah, because that's when they were going to kill him. No, that's when the people were going to riot and storm their little hut.
No, actually, that was after he retrieves her. He gets summoned by the church, by the bishop, and the bishop gives him the condition that he leaves, but the speakers die on the hands of the mob. So he goes back and tells them, hey, yo, you guys are gonna die. Y'all gotta leave. Speakers are like, no, we gotta stay and help these people. And he's like, these people are going to kill you at sundown. Go now. That's when the people were gonna go, which they did. But he evacuates the speakers to the catacombs he went to retrieve the granddaughter, the first place, and that's where he also slayed the Cyclops. Excuse me. Sorry, mouthful. But yeah, that's how it happened. Because
No, the people were gonna kill them anyway. The people were gonna kill them before he even got summoned. That was the whole point because when they attacked the old man, they threatened the old man and told him that they were gonna come get him when Trevor first gets to the town.
Okay.
That's the whole point when he didn't want to help them. But he helped the old man. The old man, like, these people are they're going to kill us. He's like, okay. But they didn't want to leave because they were waiting for their granddaughter to come back. He said, I'll go get her. If I go get her, you have to leave. And then when he did it, they like, nah, we're not leaving anyway. This is even before he knew the demons were coming back to attack.
Okay.
And that's what made him such a jerk. Because even at that point, he would have rather had the whole rest of the town die. He wasn't going to save the town.
Okay. So what else happens?
Well, after he actually goes down and saves her, because he figures out the Cyclops' trick again, just like in a video game, there's tricks to everything to beat the big enemies. He comes back up and gets them, and they convince him to help him stay. But Trevor knows he can't do that with the treacherous influence. So he does everything he can to undermine the church and battles like one of their lieutenants and shows him off to be a fraud. Like, how you a priest, but you walking around with swords and knives, and the people like, yeah, that don't make no sense. So he rallies the people to prepare defense, but it's too late. The demons are already there. The Horde, I believe they're called the Horde at this point, have already made it to the town. But the people turn against the church, slaughter some of the evil priests, rally behind Trevor, and that's when we get the big battle with the Horde, with the help of the granddaughter he saves from the catacombs, who we turn out and find is Elemental, who's also in the game too. I believe she was. I don't think she's in the third game though. I think she's in like the fourth game, but they move stuff around. And with the Elemental and Trevor's help, the people actually start to learn to fight back against the demons and remember some of the old ways that the Belmonts used to teach them.
So do they?
No,
go on.
So once they finish with that part, that they do fight the town, but then they realize, okay, there's like 1,000 of these guys, and we up to less than a few hundred humans, because again, the town was desolate, running out of food, they didn't have any help. They remember the prophecy, because the girl's like, no, we have to go await the soldier. So they go back, they fall down to the catacombs, literally in the middle of the battle, which is also really beautiful. The transition, because once again, just like the video game, you find a little secret cave or a secret tunnel, and it transports you to a new level. It happens like this in the show, but it shows like the structure, like, oh no, there's a whole thing built under the town. And they fall into it, they do some platforming. Literally, they do platforming in this show, but it looks really cool when they're falling down deep into the castle. And they find the tomb. But as they're in the tomb, Trevor realizes, wait a minute, this is not a savior. This is Dracula's castle, because he's sobering up. He starts to remember the old ways too. Like, no, where the hell are we? We're in Dracula's castle. Because again, also like the video game, another nod to the video game, Dracula's castle moves. It's like a
House Moving Castle.
Anybody who watches Doctor Who.
House Moving Castle.
Yeah, it's like anybody who watches Doctor Who, where it just transports through time. It exists in multiple places and multiple times, multiple levels of the castle. This is where Dracula has stored his son, because like we said at the beginning, Alucard attacks Dracula. Dracula kicks his butt. Of course, he's more powerful. So they free Alucard, and then of course they had this beautiful one-on-one battle. You want to talk about that battle?
It's bits and pieces. but I do know that they come to an uneasy truce at the end of it. But it's very well done. Like it's for me, it felt like it could have used its own episode. That's how gorgeous it was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm actually I just actually I'm doing a rewatch of the first season, and I'm just literally like approaching that episode. And from what I can remember, I'm not. How does he wake up? I'm trying to remember how exactly does he wake up. Like something wakes.
No, they
They
disturb
just
too.
straight up disturb this.
It's just
Right.
like in the game where if you pull it, yeah, you pull a lever, this happens, and it
Yeah,
opens the
yeah, yeah,
tube.
yeah,
They
yeah. It's
disturb the
just
tube, and you
open,
woke
and
up.
he's like, "What are you doing here?" Um, and Trevor's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. We cannot unleash him." And it's like they come to an uneasy truce because Alucard is like, "Look, my dad is terrorizing this entire planet. I didn't want him to do it, so we got to do something about it now before it's too late."
Yeah, Alucard didn't believe he was a Belmont at first. That's what actually kind of kicks off
Yeah,
the battle. Like, you're not a vampire slayer. You ain't
right.
nobody. And Belmont, like, Trevor, like, fuck you. And
And they fight.
like, what?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. Like, what's this? Oh, no, 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 no. I fight. So, it's a cool show. I liked it. When it first came out, I immediately wanted a second season. When it come out? When did it come out? 2 years ago or last year? No,
Mm-hmm.
last July.
No.
Last July.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, and it was uncertain because I know because it was like four episodes only because it was like a kind of like a test run.
Yeah, and it flows. It feels like it was one big
Yeah,
movie.
it was. And even after a
And
while, I
it
forgot
and
how
it
many
and it
episodes it
worked.
was. I thought it was just one.
Right, exactly. It worked so well.
And it flows. There's no interruption. There's no like pointless plot device, no filler, nothing. It just gets straight to the point. It's pretty. It's graphic, straight up horror. I love it. Trevor's interactions with not just this the speakers, but the townspeople. You just see
Oh
you
yeah.
just
Great voice
yes,
acting.
you just see the ignorance on these people. You see the church just reveling, especially the bishop. When it got to the point where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, all the other towns, all the other cities have fallen. This is the last stronghold, you know. And so technically, I'm the head of the church, and it's like, oh no, dude, no, no, no. But the way he met his demise was really, really nice. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it greatly.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was like
Wait.
a nice what do you call it? He kind of got what he deserved, what he asked for.
Yeah,
Karma.
karma.
Yeah, here we go. It was really nice.
Yeah. And there's little touches like that throughout the show. Like you say, you talk about when the people, like there are scenes where you see a few people try to stand up at the church, and you see the church's intimidation, like shut up, and they're like, oh crap, okay. You see, like with the farmers, like you can tell, like they're the uneducated ones, but then you got a shopkeep who would be a little bit more educated because he has to deal with money and
Mhm.
commerce. Like it shows in the show and the dialogue too that like there are different levels, but at the end of the day, everybody's being
Yeah.
played and it's just like I said, it's just really well done. Like I said, Warren Ellis did the screenplay for it. Like I said, I think it was originally supposed to be
Mhm.
him, and then when Netflix got it, they turned it into the animated TV
Mhm.
series. And it's also helmed by Adi Shankar, who does a lot of cool gothic reimaginings of
Nice.
things. So they kept it close to the source. Like yeah, there's a couple of hilarious things. Like also in the video game, like you might get some funny quotes and stuff from
Mhm.
NPCs, like because there's humor and stuff. But they kept it close to like, no, this is dangerous. We got people just surrounded by monsters, and they're the
Yep.
food. People are the
Mhm.
food, and that's some real oppressive stuff to
It's
deal with.
dark. Oh, it's real dark. So it's all around just dark. You have so many elements that just makes up such a great, well-rounded horror show story. Um, and like you said, the humor is definitely there. Again, it's definitely for me. It's with like Trevor, with some of the women too. I really like how they're portrayed, especially like the smart ones. I don't. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like Lisa, how she entered Dracula's castle. She wasn't like she was.
Unafraid.
Yeah, like she wasn't exactly afraid, cautious, more so cautious, and was like, "Whoa!" But she overcame that very quickly and was like, "You're rude, sir. I am your guest." Okay. And then there's the speaker's the elder granddaughter, Sifa, if that's her name, if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
Sifa,
Sifa.
yeah, and she's just as bad when when um when freaking Trevor saves her from the Cyclops. She's like, "Did you climb me?" And he's like, "A little bit." And she's like, "Oh, rude." And he's like, "I just
Yeah.
saved you. What are you talking about?"
Or like, she has another really cool
Mhm.
scene, like when they're setting up for the battle, and she first shows her elemental
Yes.
power, and he was like, "You could do that." She's like, "You didn't ask me. And you just assumed I couldn't do anything. You didn't ask me a thing." And Trevor and the look again, the animation, the look on Trevor's face, like, fine, like let's just go kill stuff.
You little shit. You know what?
Yeah.
So that's like little things like that. It's really nice. It's subtle. It's not over the top. The gore is just pretty much like, well, there are demons and monsters in the world. Of course, this is going to happen. Of course, there's violence in the world amongst human beings. That's just how the world is. It's like the what is it? The 14th? No, 1400s. Yes, it is the 1400s. So.
Yeah, and that's also very portrayed very well too.
Mhm.
Architecture, clothing. It's like you said, it's still
Cultural.
really
Yeah.
well done cultural
Mhm.
piece.
So it's a great show. Like I said, if you can stomach it, get into it. Also, interestingly enough, voice of Trevor Belmont is Richard Armitage. Richard Armitage, who was in The Hobbit as
Mm-hmm.
Thorin Odinson. Oh,
Oaken Shield.
Shield. There we go. I'm mixing up my names. I haven't. I haven't.
A lot of names
I
in the
have
Hobbit.
not read The Hobbit in a million years. Um, him and Graham McTavish was also in The Hobbit. I forgot which dwarf he was. So they were both, they both worked together previously, and now they're on to this new adventure, and it's really great. They're lending their voices to iconic characters, and it works really really well. You could see just how well their voices work for these characters. So it's a lot to look forward to. I'm really excited for season 2. Really excited. Like I want to see it now. But I have to wait till the 26th, which again we are going to be doing our little live tweet on Twitter. So join us, join the initiative, yell at us. We're gonna set up a thread. I believe that since now Twitter has like this new way of communicating without random tweets being all over the place, we can kind of just center them all in the same place. So it should be very easy to follow. You can talk crap, you can yell your excitement, give your analysis, whatever, but join in and have fun. Like I said, if you can stomach it, we'll be right there. So how are you feeling, Darren?
Well, that's about it. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. Can't wait for season 2, and I hope to see everybody doing our live tweets.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Follow us on our other social media on Instagram, Afro Anime Initiative, on Twitter, Afro underscore AI, excuse me. On Facebook, Afro Anime Initiative, and well, here on YouTube too. So I'm Paulina.
Darren Bradley.
Thank you so much. Bye.